everyone, and welcome to another issue of Thursday Live Lessons. My name is Aldrine Guerrero, and I'm joined by Mr. Aaron, the voice, Nakamura. What's up, Aaron?
What's up?
Mr. Kahai, the legend, Fergus. What's up, Kahai?
What's up?
Aaron is here, so that means it's song day, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right? So, welcome everyone. This is going to be the last episode of Thursday Live Lesson for the year, and we are very, very, very excited to end the year on a good note. We're in the giving mood. We're gonna be giving songs away today. We're giving our talents, or lack thereof, away to the to some of our awesome listeners. So it's gonna be great. So how Thursday Live Lesson works is we are live, so you guys can chat along with us. We have a live chat for all of you Plus subscribers out there. So you can ask us any question that you want. We prefer ukulele questions so we can have a nice ukulele discussion. But you can basically ask us anything, and we'll answer them right away, or I'll try to answer them, and these guys will come in and with their 2 cents, and we'll try to come up with the best answer for you. We'll try to answer some emails that we get throughout the week as well. Whatever questions and however we get it, we try to answer it as best as we can. So with that said, Kahai, do you have any questions for me?
Trent asked in the chat, he said, what is Aldrine's favorite riff and will he play it for us?
Oh. Huh. What is my favorite riff? I never thought of a favorite riff. I guess it would be like that bend riff I like a lot.
Wonderful Tonight.
Yeah, I can't talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
But my favorite riff is the like that. Anytime you can do that. I guess just bends in general. I'm a big fan of.
Is that the one where you're bending to the right note?
Yeah, to the right note. So these are 2 different notes. But you're gonna bend the one lower note so that it matches with the other one, so that it creates a nice tension, and it's because it's almost like I can see the wave kind of do this,
Mm-hmm. Okay, so for example, you're playing a D and a
C
sharp?
and a D, yeah, C and a D.
Oh, a C and a D.
Yeah, so you're bending it like a whole step up,
and then you're bending the C to the D.
Yeah.
So the lower C, you're bending to. Yeah. And then they're creating, it's like an octave, right?
Yeah. Well, no, it's the same note. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same note. So that's why it's so close together.
On the E string.
Yeah, on the E string and the A string. So you're creating the same D note, but it's so close that you can hear, and it's not necessarily on. I never get it. To that point where it's the same. So it's just slightly flat like this.
Yeah.
Well, the goal is to get it as close as you can, right?
Yeah.
But then, it's really hard to get it super close.
I feel that's my favorite. It's kind of my go-to.
Yeah.
Whenever someone asks me to do a solo on something that's gonna have that, or just some kind of bend. I love bends. That kind of that kind of riff I like a lot. I like the slide to the bend, any combination of slides and bends. But bends, I used to listen to a lot of Santana and Steve Vai and Jimi Hendrix. A lot of them does that kind of stuff.
That's kind of a Hendrix thing.
Yeah, very Hendrixy technique, because you can do it with that kind of dirty style of playing. And you can so you can do a whole scale, if you wanted to.
And even
you can do whatever note you want.
Even partway through playing that, you're actually bending the other string too. So it's almost like they're getting they're matching in how distance dissonant they are.
And you can do it in the E and A, you can do it in C and E. It's fun. It's one of those oh, give me that stank, I love that. Every time you can give the stank as what's his name? As Jason Arimoto would say. Anytime you put the stank in there. Put the stank. Put some stank in it, I love it. And you can do it on C and E.
Yeah, that's one thing that Logi has, right? With that kind of playing, Jason really kills it with Logi playing. Yeah, with that dirty blues thing. Yep.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a ghost band. So Trent was saying it's kind of like a ghost band. Not really, because you're not. Ghost is like you're playing something that's not meant to be heard. You know, it's like kind of in the background.
I don't know if maybe there is a term.
Like a guitar.
I guess. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. Is that? Yeah, I don't know what the technical term is.
Officially called.
Yeah, but it's just like one of those things where, you know, I want to bend those like two notes. I want to bend the one note to match the other notes, but not really matching. It's like just maybe like 2 to 5 cents off. It's like perfect.
Yeah. It's not supposed to sound.
Yeah, it's not supposed to sound
right.
Correct. Yeah. It's cool though.
Yeah, it's like
go-to riff.
Almost like the closer you can get to it, but it being like a few cents off, like because it's like the human ear perceives it as like, oh, it's almost there.
Yeah.
Like it's just like if you're just reaching for it, and I kind of feel like it's a technique where you build tension, right? And then like if you land on another note, that releases the tension back. So.
I mean, I feel like I do it so much it's become like kind of a signature. Like not a lot of uke players do it. I mean, some uke players do, but you don't hear it a lot. You know? And it's become kind of like a signature to like a solo that I would do. So when you hear an ukulele solo and you hear that part, and it's like, oh, that sounds like an Aldrine solo. So I want to add those little signature touches.
Something I've been practicing is like Squealies, right? And that's like harmonics with one hand. Yeah. So you the cool thing about doing that is that you can do like usually harmonics, since you're using two hands and it's like you're just hitting one note. You can't really do anything with it. But when you do Squealies, you can do like vibratos and bends too with the Squealie. Yeah.
Like let's see if I can do it. So I used to practice it a lot. There it is. So I'm like, I could bend that. There it is. Where I'm not even plugged in, guys. Can I plug this in real quick?
You can't. They can't hear you.
Okay, here we go. Let's try it again. Squealies. There it is again, you know? I like that kind of... Ooh. See that? Like, just put some stank in it.
It's kind of
attitude.
Kind of the opposite of Jake.
I mean, Jake can put some stank on it. Not that he can't and stuff, but yes.
No. But his style is very clean,
articulate.
Yeah. And that's very like kind of.
Like Chris Fujigami and Kahai, like they're very clean and articulate players and stuff. I'm like, you know what? I can't play as good as those dudes. So
I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna go the other
dirty on purpose. So it's like I'm not trying to do that, but because if I tried, I would lose. So I'm gonna go against the grain.
I feel like Jake might be like Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah. Where Stevie Ray Vaughan can do very dirty too, right? But I feel like Jake and like guitar players or like ukulele players like him, it's like very calculated in what they're like trying to make intentionally dissonant and stuff. Whereas like Jimi Hendrix was just like, I'm gonna try and make this feel like as like
I want to emulate the feeling in sound.
I don't necessarily know like the exact notes or what's gonna make it up. I'm just gonna try and do it with like what I can hear in my own head and ear.
Because that's kind of how it was trained musically. That like every note is a symphony. Like one note can like make a huge difference in how you play that note and how much emotion that you squeeze out of that one note. Like if anyone listens to like B.B. King, you'll understand like what that means. So that's the kind of stuff that I like. Or guys like Steve Vai. Although Steve Vai, very technical, very fast kind of player and stuff. He's also a master of pedals, so he'll play that one note and he'll put some kind of effect on it. I've heard him play one note that sounded like crying children. I was like, oh my god, that brings a tear to my eye. He has a song called "For the Love of God." There's a live version of that where like he does this. Like it really sounds like somebody like crying out, like, oh, that's crazy. And and guys like Santana does that's that same exact thing too. Well, like they'll play that one note and just like really squeeze the emotion out of that one note. So for me, that's kind of what I like to work on and stuff. Because I talk to guys like Craig and Sarah and stuff, because they travel with people like Kahai, and they're like, oh, Kahai was doing this, you know, like he's been really into his like sweeps. He can do like, you know, a lot of sweeps and stuff. I'm like, I can't do sweeps, you know. I'm not, you know. I mean, I can kind of like I can fake it sometimes, like fake sweeps, but you know, like
messy sweeps.
Yeah, messy on purpose. It's my excuse that I do it on purpose. Yeah. So I go the total opposite direction. So I tell Craig and Sam, like that's just like a next level kind of stuff. Like I'm gonna stick to, you know, like what I do. Because Craig's like, how does he do that? I'm like, I don't want to begin to explain like what goes on in the mind of Kahai, you know. But it's cool. By the way, Kahai gonna be at our retreat. Yeah. So you can ask him all about them sweeps.
Yeah, and I think that will be cool. Like,
maybe I'll ask him about the sweeps.
Yeah. Well, like to have both of you guys there, and then to hear your perspectives on like different styles of playing too. Yeah, people can get into that with that. You guys.
Kind of like, you ever seen? I know I've talked about this movie before. Crossroads.
Yeah.
Have you seen Crossroads? Like Steve Vai and Ry Cooder. You know, was the two people doing the you know, doing the solo. So Ry Cooder would play all the Eugene parts, right? And then Steve Vai, of course, played his own parts.
The
devil parts. And you can really tell where Steve Vai is like very rock and roll, like kind of metal-ish, you know, like with all the notes and flurries and stuff. Ry Cooder with his like slide guitar, but with, you know, electric, really squeezing out those. Whenever Kahai and I get together, I always think of that, you know, like that kind of battle where like we, you know, we're equals as far as like musicality, you know, but like each has kind of their own approach and their own style, which is really cool. So I love playing with Kahai, because I barely get that feeling of like, yeah, this is somebody I could cut heads with, you know. Not that like, oh, I'm so good, or no, it's just our wavelength is kind of like the same, you know. It's not that, it's because there's I mean, Chris is better than I am. Like Andrew Molina is now, you know, I would say he's better than I am, but it's one of those things like when you're at like the same wavelength as someone when you're like soloing, it's really you create magic.
There's like so many aspects of it though that there really is, like you said, like not too many other ukulele players do the whole bending, like, you know, bending one note to try and match another, or try and do that. Or like, I know we've been on tour and stuff, and then you'll you know, we'll meet up with another ukulele player and you're like, oh, check out what I just learned, and you'll show them Squealies, and they'll be like, how did you even think about doing that? Because it's an electric guitar technique that you don't really see on acoustic instruments. So they're like, what? How do you even do that, right? Yeah, and I know we've talked in previous live lessons too about like things that Kahai does that is like, I don't even know where to begin to explain how he can play that.
Or like Emil Garza with his Squealies. He can play like entire like melody lines with. It's insane. There's some really scary good ukulele players out there.
Yeah.
All right. So any other questions?
I think that was pretty much it. Yeah. People are just talking about how there's like different styles of playing more like organic or playing dirty and stuff. So yeah.
I mean, just to each his own, you know. I like playing dirty because I have an excuse if I mess up.
It's part of it.
Yeah, it's part of it. Yeah. I meant to do that. I meant to mess that up. What's something that you go? So he likes Squealies. How about you, Aaron? What's your go-to riff?
Oh, nothing. I'm strictly rhythm, so
I like that you even from like when I first met you, we were doing Volcano Joe's. Remember we did that? You know, like I noticed that you like to almost like make up your own chords, where you like take a chord and if like you add something and if it sounds good, you're like, oh yeah, I guess that's the chord. I'm like, what chord is that? You're like, I don't know. It just sounded good to me. Even with ukulele, when you're doing your songs and stuff, you're like, Aldrine, what chord is this?
I don't know
like
what chord.
I like that about
it's
you.
Like I have a chord in mind, I guess.
Yeah.
But then like I also have like other, you know, sounds in my head, because when I kind of come up with a song or when I hear a song and try to play it on ukulele, like I hear like the full arrangement in my head. So like there are other things going on there. So like, you know, if I can add something that sounds closer to what's in my head, then whatever, you just add it.
Just put it inside. Yeah. That's what Jimi Hendrix did, you know. So you are like Jimi Hendrix
on a totally different level.
Because that's how we got the Hendrix chord. Is like, I need something here. You know, it's kind of tension that I don't know what chord it is, but I'm gonna make up my own chord to create the tension that I want to create.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, and Jimi Hendrix, right, is like, you couldn't ask him like, hey, well, how are you playing this chord, or like, why would you pick this note? And he's not gonna like deconstruct it where it's like, well, you see these two notes create tensions in two different ways.
That's true.
And so he's just like, well, it feels like
I didn't even realize I was doing that. I just play it.
Good. It sounded good. So that's what I noticed that you do that I really like. Was just like, you will just play what sounds good, you know, which is really cool.
Or kind of what I think it needs.
Yeah.
But then never more than that. I try not to do more than that.
Like usually, I you know, as a composer, like, if I'm showing you a song that I wrote and stuff, I would like tell you like, okay, I need this in here, you know. But like, you kind of hear it first before I even like tell you like, oh, this is kind of what it needs, or like, it needs this bass line in there. Like, we play that you know, we'll play that, and you'll like do the bass slides with the you know, with the guitar part. And it's like something that I didn't tell you to do. You just did it because you felt like that's what sounded good in there, you know. But most duos,
that's why it's like I don't even think about it.
Most duos, like, they sit down and they're like, okay, when I do this, you're gonna do that part and whatever. I'm sure like Fulani Pad like plans it out.
Yeah,
and has the music, you know. Yeah, they do. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I have one of those. You know, they write it out and stuff. But for us, it's like, I wrote this. Here are the chords. That's it, you know. Yeah. And then Aaron's free to just put whatever he wants in there, which is really cool.
Yeah, like, if I work with somebody else on a song or something, I kind of like that idea too, that you give it to somebody else and you don't like try and dictate what they do, right? You let them put it in, because they'll come up with things that you could have never. If you just try to be like, okay, so this is the idea that I had in my head of what you're supposed to play here and there and stuff.
And it would be so boring that like, if I just told you everything that you know that you had to play, like, then you aren't contributing anything to, you know, to the duo. I like the fact that like, you know, have the freedom to do whatever you want, even though like I wrote the instrumental tune or whatever, or I had like I had a thing in mind. If we're doing a cover song, like, you always kind of put it in there, and that's what it's supposed to be. I think that's the collaboration between you and I, and I'm not like trying to micromanage everything you do with your guitar. Yeah. Because, you know, if I was like, like maybe play this or do that note, maybe use this pedal or do this or get this guitar or, you know, play these strings and it sounds good with mine. Like, no, just do whatever you want, man. It sounds good. It sounds good. Like,
I'm sure. Well, I'm sure there's like specific things, right, where you know, like maybe Aaron will be playing like the relative major chord instead of like the minor chord or something, right? Where you're like, oh, actually, it's like a B minor.
Yeah, but that's just more like, that's the wrong chord, Aaron. Like, that's.
Well, like I can see, or I can see how somebody can do that though, right? And because they're just like, oh, it kind of sounds like this chord, and they're just playing it, and then it's like, oh, pretty close, but it's, you know, one note off or whatever.
And I think that's kind of what gives it that like Kani Kapila feel, you know, like a very backyard.
And also like, you have told me certain things, and then I choose not to do it.
You know. But I'm not gonna be like, hey,
because even like Noho Pai Pai, right? Like, I never do the chords that you do
on D flat 7. You just go D7 G7. Yeah, I've noticed that.
And even at the very end, there's like that da da da, and I never do that. So I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
You just go C C C, or what do you do?
I forget.
Or G7 C.
Something like that.
Just goes Kuupoli.
Yeah, and I never do that. And you've showed me like what you do, but it's like, no, I'm not gonna do.
It's cool, because it sounds like a backyard jam. Yeah, I think that's what people like about it, you know.
I think too, like, if you tell somebody, again, it's like fine if you're like Favorite Pad, right, where you really hash it out with your partner and everything, and you guys are like, oh, okay, you play this and this. But I feel like if you kind of tell somebody how to play, it's gonna just end up being like you have two people that are the same person, like a copy of the same person playing, you know, both parts. And it's like you don't hear their personality come through with their own part, right? Like you don't tell them like, oh, just take it and then make it your own, or let you know, yourself shine.
And another thing is like we've never really like meant for people to take us seriously either. You know what I mean? Like people like Favorite Pad, it's like, yeah, those are serious musicians, you know, like with serious musicality and serious music skills. We are not that like at all. We're just like backyard musicians, and I think that's part of it. But the world needs backyard musicians, you know what I mean? Like
and part of the shtick is kind of like if you set low expectations, then you can always exceed them. So
it's part of the self-deprecating humor.
I bet if you talk to Favorite Pad too, though, like if you talk to them and you talked about this thing too, they'll probably have instances from playing with other people too, where they're like, oh yeah, I like to do that with this musician, or I like to do it with that, or oh yeah, we did do that on this one particular song or something. You know? So it's kind of like it really is like almost like a song by song basis. You'll see it with different people, and it just depends on where you're playing or what you're playing.
We actually had an episode of the podcast with James Hill where we interviewed James Hill, and we dug up a really, really old album that he produced himself in his dorm room. And he was talking about it, and he said that because he did everything on it, like he played pretty much every instrument, he came up with arrangements, and he sang and he wrote all of the songs. And he said that, like, I mean, because we're amazed by it, the fact that he knows how to do all of that, you know, play all
like,
those things
in that time, like
and that was even before he was famous as an ukulele player.
It's also not an ukulele album, so we knew he could play. You know, we know his ukulele albums. And stuff.
He played piano and guitar and all kinds of stuff.
It's like a new funk album, right? Like a new style of funk.
But he was saying that was one of the things that he kind of realized too, is that it kind of became an echo chamber of his own thoughts, you know, and you don't get the play off of, you know, if you have a bunch of musicians and you give them a song, like somehow like the synergy of all those musicians together create something that's even better than what you had intended in the first place. And so that was one of the things that he kind of talked about in that interview. So if you look that up, that was a good one. With James Hill.
Yeah, I love the song challenges, but that's like something that I struggle with sometimes. Is like I'll be doing something, and I think one of the weakest things, or one of something that I'm the weakest at, is like arranging drums. And I just think of like, you know, Mark, or I think of my friend Jeff. It's like, oh, I just wish I could call them up and be like, hey, can you like lay down something on this one track or do something? Because I know they can do a way better job, and I feel like if they just throw, you know, drums on it, I listen to it, then I can kind of hear where it's like, oh, okay, now the song wants to go in this direction, and I can take it further in that direction.
It kind of inspires you even more.
Because otherwise, it's just like, oh, I'm just going down the same road. You know? Like I can just see right in front of me. So.
Even if, you know, you or they would play the same thing that you played, maybe just if the groove is a little bit different, or you know, like
if they're playing live drums, right? Like how hard they hit each thing. That really changes a drummer, like what a drummer's personality and what comes through in a drum track. Because
I make the tracks for our play along and stuff, and you can always tell whenever I'm playing bass and whenever Randall is playing bass, you know, or like Mike or something. Because
it's different.
It's totally different. Like if I were to you know, and that's the one thing, like I don't think I'd really play bass for any of my albums, like, because I feel like that's the groove, you know, like I don't think I can set my own groove, because it'll just sound like you said, like echo chambering, you know, like of ideas. And once that starts there, that's like the baseline, you know, pun intended, bass line groove. It's like it's right there, you know. So you're building on top of that. So if it's someone else's groove, but it's like kind of what the notes that I tell them to play, you know, but then them doing it themselves, then I can kind of build on top of that and it becomes like a collaborative, you know.
I think I've seen you, or I think I've seen you do this with like Rando and Mike sometimes, where you'll record like a very basic scratch track of a bass just to show like, oh, these are the notes that I'm thinking of for the arrangement. But then when they come in and they actually play, it's like way different.
Night and day,
yeah. Like they add, you know, it's like the things where it's like ghost notes or they add slaps or things that you can eat. It's like, wow. Yeah, that totally changes the feel of the bass and it adds to the song too.
Yeah, we're doing a Beatles song in a couple months or a few months, I don't know, pretty soon with the song lessons, and it's a bass line that I don't think I could play like myself. Like even if I tried my hardest, I don't think I could play that bass line correctly. Like it would be the same note, the correct notes, but it wouldn't be that bass line. So I got Randall to do the bass line. Or I'm getting Randall to do the bass line, and I can't wait to hear what that thing ends up as.
The thing I love about Randall is he is such a good bass player. Yeah. But when you talk to him, he's like, I don't know. I'm just doing humble. These things and I'm just like playing around with this, but I don't know if I'm really doing it right. And you're like, Randall, you're killing it. It's like such a good bass line.
He learns by feel. He's not like a music theory guy and stuff. Like, but he's been telling me that he's been checking out like Scott's bass lessons, you know, so he's been kind of watching that. But a lot of it has to do with experience because you know, everyone wants to be the ukulele player, everyone wants to be the guitar player and singer and whatever. Like, no one wants to be the bass player. So, because of that, around Kauai, and Kauai's a small place. So, like, if anyone's looking for a bass player, you got, like, towards of 3 or 4 people, you know? So, those 3 or 4
willing
people,
to play with
with anyone. Because they'll just make that money, you know? Yeah. So Randall's one of those 4 guys that plays for everybody on the island. So, he's played with everyone. He knows everyone's groove. He can kind of, like, be... Match it. Yeah, he's like water, you know? Like, you'll just groove with anybody, exactly. Whatever container you put him in. You know? So that's what makes him great. I feel.
Yeah, and the same thing goes for ukulele. So like there are a lot of tabs out there, and people use the same tabs, and they can upload to YouTube, and you can watch people who have used the same reference tab.
True, yeah.
But like just the way that it comes out is totally different, and that's you putting yourself into it. You're playing the exact same notes, but like maybe the feel or like how hard you hit it. Like, you can't really write that out in tabs. So
what we talked about like either last week or a few weeks ago, right? It's like that touch. There's just like that, and it's such a small detail, right? If you listen to one person's chord versus another person's chord and be like, oh, that person, for some reason, their E string is like emphasized over this person's chord, which is like the C string is emphasized or something. And it just changes. Like it's at that point it's really small, but if you listen to it, it's really cool to hear like just
or it's really obvious if somebody isn't emphasizing anything and then somebody who is, you know, it's like that's night and day.
So that's nice. We squeezed 30 minutes out of that one question.
That was one question.
That was me that was me really trying to like, but it's cool. So we're here now at the half an hour mark. Why don't we do the song challenge? Why don't we get that out of the way so we can start giving these songs away?
Yeah. So this was kind of a different song challenge. We didn't all have the same challenge.
We all had different challenges. So what we did was this is Kahai's idea. Kahai had a great idea of doing Secret Santa songs, which we would be gifting you guys songs based on what you guys put on the forum. So on the forum, you guys put like what kind of song you guys want us to write and what key and anything, just anything in the song, like any particulars in the song, you guys would write it down and we'd write a song. And we pick names out of a hat, and we would write whatever song that the person that we picked out of the hat said on the forum. So, for example,
you want to show the board?
Yes.
Yeah, because the board has everybody who...
Oh, okay. The board. So, only a few people. I guess people don't want us writing songs for them. So, 5 people. So, we have, like, Ritesh, who wanted a slack key song about unicorns, sung to little kids in a C scale with open C, simple and easy. Joel wanted to do a 12-bar blues. 12-bar blues in the key of A with a reference to winter. Rob simply wanted a song that includes a honu. Kahai wanted in the key of G with a low G string. That's pretty specific. With a low G string. Lyrics about ghosts and or gardening includes ukulele solo. So very, very specific.
I also wrote in the forum post that we would you guys can write all this stuff, and we're gonna try our best to use all of it, but it's not a guarantee that we're gonna hit all the marks. So.
And then Renee, low G, key of C, song about Rudolph as a difficult teen. That inspires laughter. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna play our song, and you guys have to figure out which one it is. But I guess since process, like I was saying earlier, process of elimination, you guys can tell. But that's kind of the fun of it, So no one knows if we're gonna write a song about them or not. It's kind of like a secret Santa. So if we picked one of yours, we can only write to 3 people. But the thing is, if you guys want to write secret Santa songs about about the rest of the people that didn't get chosen and stuff, or if you want to put more ideas so someone else can write a song for you guys can totally do that. That's over in the forum. So check out the, what is it called? Secret Santa Songwriting Challenge. Yeah. So here are the songs. We're gonna play our tunes, and
we actually had somebody write a song already and submit to the forum too. Nice. Because I said that if people want, they can take just one suggestion, right? So just one part of what somebody said and write a song based on that.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be everything.
Yeah, if they do that, they submit it to the forum. We'll enter them into a giveaway. And we'll...
Okay, so I usually go first, so I'm gonna go first. And I am going to sing my song or play my song for you guys. Figure out which one it is.
I think it all should be pretty obvious because they're all very different.
I don't know if you guys are gonna get mine.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's
I'll take that as a challenge, guy. Because you don't write lyrics, yeah.
Yeah, that's why. I don't know if you guys are gonna get my song.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, my thing is currently loading. I emailed it to myself. That's why.
You want me to do my song?
Yeah. While it's loading.
Sure.
Are you connected to our Wi-Fi?
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
anyway,
go do yours first. So, is there something you want to let us know before before you play your song?
Like all my other songs, this is just record, or I recorded at home, and then I'm just gonna play the recording. So.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
Okay. Can I take a guess?
Yeah.
It's Kahai, because that was in the key of G. It's the only one in here that's in the key of G.
Yeah.
Oh, my ears! You're not deceiving me.
Low G.
And a low G.
Yeah.
And had an ukulele solo in the beginning. I heard that. But I heard the G to the augmented.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, come on. I can't get past my ears.
And then unfortunately I couldn't do low G.
Yeah.
the song is called Ghost in the Garden.
Ghost in the Garden.
Yeah. I couldn't do low G, but because I don't have a low G ukulele, and I thought about like maybe coming here and be like, oh, borrow a low G or something. But I recorded it yesterday, the ukulele part, so I'm just like, I only have a high G, so I'm just gonna go with that. And I did a little bit of a solo. I thought about like
at the beginning, I liked it.
I thought about like ripping a solo out, but the thing is, like, when I thought about writing this song, I kind of based it around the same idea as like Everything Stays, like Rebecca Sugar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And instead of making it like a scary ghost kind of song, I wanted to make it like almost like it's like a cute ghost that you meet in the garden, you know? Like or it's like something that you meet in the garden that you're like, oh, this thing is really cute and friendly, and then it's only later that you learn like, oh, it's a ghost, you know. Almost like it would be in Adventure Time or
that's cool.
A cartoon and something.
I like that. Was actually one of my favorites from you. I like all the chord movements that you did and stuff. Like, I liked all the different parts. There's like an A, B, and C part, in there, and I like the the experimenting of chords. For example, like augmented, getting that in the G to augment it to the E minor.
Yeah. It's a really simple, like, the beginning is the really simple, like, just straight ascending.
Yeah.
But then, later on, I use, like,
is that D? Like that, that ascension that you did
it's
there,
G, augmented, E minor, and then C major 7. But then the second part...
goes to the minor.
Yeah.
And then the second part is A minor, D7, kind of split from here to G, B7, C major 7, and then A minor, D7, E minor, B minor, C major 7, C7, and then
the major 7 to the 7. I really liked.
Yeah. And that B major 7, like, I don't think I would have included this. This actually is like Everything Stays, like that song is in G too, and it includes a B major 7. So I wouldn't have thought about like using that chord without like kind of listening to that song.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, yeah.
Inspired.
It's cool because usually when you go to the B7, you want to go to the E minor because that's kind of like the 5 to that minor, But going to the half step up to the C, it's like, oh, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite song for you.
I like when I wrote it, I did write it going to like that E minor or like going from E minor to B major or B7. Yeah. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to throw it a little bit different, make it a little bit, interesting. So yeah.
Okay. Mine loaded. So mine's is obvious. Like I said, mine's super obvious. So I'm gonna say something before I play this. I wrote this like this past weekend, and I was like, man, this melody line of this song sounds really familiar. Like I've heard it before, and like I pinpointed what I thought.
Oh,
exactly.
Like now.
A Cascade song that I heard.
That's
God, and I'm like, I don't have time to write another one.
That happens a lot. Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna keep it. I'm not even gonna change it. I'm just gonna keep it. It's almost to the T. Exactly that song.
It sounds so good.
Yeah, it sounds so good.
And then like later on, like,
it's like an old Cascade song. But I wrote a little lullaby, and let's just say I took a word like literally or just like maybe a different so here we go. So mine's QC. Little Honu, can I sit next to you? Are you lonely? 'Cause no one invited you to go play outside. Toss a ball or two. That's why I'm here to play with you. Oh, sorry, let's see. Go play outside. Toss a ball or two. That's why I'm here to play with you. There we go. Little Honu, what would you like to do? We could drive to the other side of the moon. We'll say hi to a rabbit, enjoy the view. I'm here to play with you, oh my little Honu. Little Honu, let's fly on a 1,000 balloons. Little Honu, take my hand, I'll be there for you. Little Honu, what will you like to do? We could drive to the other side of the moon. We'll say hi to a rabbit, enjoy the view. I'm here to play with you. I'm here to play with you. Here to play with you. Oh, my little Honu. So when they said include a Honu, I wanted to make sure that Honu felt included. Included. Because he wasn't, like the other Honus weren't asking him to play. So I was like, yeah, I want to include this Honu.
So that was just, that was Rob's song.
Yeah, that was Rob's, obviously. Because when I first saw it, I was like, and I'm not like knocking on anything. I was like, oh man, like Honus is just going to be so like very, like Hawaii, like very Kohala, that kind of, I'm like, I don't know if I want to write like a song about like Honus and turtles and Kohala and stuff, but I'm just like, I'm just gonna embrace it. Like I'm gonna write a little like kind of lullaby sounding like very kid song,
I could already hear like the xylophone.
It
needed the xylophone and maybe like some.
I've been watching a lot of Little Baby Bum, with my kid and stuff, and I could see like the little, like the 3D characters, like doing the thing, like a little kid. Exactly.
It sounds like a song that would be included in a picture book, and then like there's a CD like in the back of the picture book that you can take out, right, and like you can hear the actual
cassette tape. If you would like to hear this again, flip over your cassette tape.
I guess like that's back when I was a kid and I had books like that, right? Now they're just like, oh, go to this YouTube link, or go to this.
And I wanted to add like a lot of stuff in there, but because I knew a lot of like stories and legends. Because if we're gonna kid stories and stuff, just like legends and stories about rabbits and turtles. So there's that rabbit in the moon stuff, and then there's one I saw like an Indian legend where like the world is like on 4 elephants like on top of a turtle shell. Like, oh, that's so it's, I wanted to like just squeeze those like in there,
nice.
As well and stuff. So little things.
I like, that's something I like about the challenges. I like when we get like pretty specific with like, okay, your song needs to have these chords or needs to have these chord patterns, but I also like when it's pretty vague and then we all write something and then we come back and it's like, oh, even though it's supposed to be the same topic, we all kind of like looked at it from different places, or we like put a spin on it too. So that's the nice thing about a topic being broad.
And like I like songs like Hey Diddle Diddle. We did a UU Plus lesson on that and stuff. It's like the cat jumping over the moon and the little dog laugh to see such fun, and the dish ran away. Like it's stuff that doesn't quite like make sense, but you can see it and it makes sense in a little kid song and stuff. So I wanted to do something like that.
When we did the solo for Hey Diddle Diddle, I was like, I think that's the first time I've actually heard all the lyrics to that stuff.
Yeah, me too. You just know the cow jumping over the moon, right?
No, I just know Hey Diddle Diddle, the cat and the fiddle. I didn't even get to the cow. I was like,
dish running away with the spoon.
Yeah, my parents never like sang the
sang old Okinawan tunes. With the drum.
My dad it's like Power Creator Boys or like local songs, and then my mom I don't know, some other lullabies, but not
it's funny because your mom is a teacher, so
kind of
she should know like a lot of the
she's not really like into songs though too much. She's my dad is really the musician in our family, and singer,
but it was it's a Cascade song.
What song was that?
Was I Dreaming? By or I think maybe the song is called Dreaming by Cascades.
What's
like
the part
50s,
in
60s?
I think I know what the part in your song that it's like exactly like the Cascade song, but what?
The whole song. The entire song is like that. Because I was like, man, it's just flowing, man. This song is just coming together.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's a Cascade song. Because it goes, was I dreaming? Or were you really there? I was like, that's the same exact notes. I'm like, I don't got time. I'm just gonna submit this, and hopefully my teacher doesn't notice.
Yeah.
That's.
I for mine. There's like a very similar thing. It wasn't it's inspired by a song, but like there's something that I messed up on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, see it.
All right.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you to do.
Okay.
Solo.
Oh.
Yeah. But I mean, as soon as I start, it's gonna be pretty obvious which one it is.
Oh, by the way, for those people who don't know, Honu means turtle. Yeah. So just in case.
In Hawaiian.
Hawaiian, it's Hawaiian word for turtle. So it's like, if you're gonna write a song about turtles, it's gonna sound very like touristy, you know. So and that's why I was like, I embraced it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Which one is that?
Pretty obvious.
It's all bar blues.
Yeah. So actually, like, I failed the challenge because it's a 14 bar blues.
Oh, because you added the last.
Because I added the
E7.
It kind of had to, yeah. And so like last week I came in to the office and I said like, "Oh, Kahai, like I'm done.
Yeah,
I did my song." And it's like I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I kind of tweaked some things since then, but then it was after I told Kahai that I was done that I realized that it's not even a 12 bar because I was also scared of falling into the trap of writing a 16 bar because that's kind of common too. Yeah. And so I was thinking like that Run Run Rudolph song, you know, like Chuck Berry, Run Rudolph. And so I was thinking of that, but then I was also writing the lyrics while I was driving my car or like doing stuff. So I didn't have my ukulele with me. And and so like that, the tagline came first. And so like I wrote everything else based off of kind of like that Chuck Berry structure, but it had to have the tagline, and the tagline needs that extra. And so like I just wrote it because it sounded good, and then I realized later that it's a 14.
That's okay. We'll just erase the Sharpie and just put 14 in there. 14 bar blue. 14 bar blues.
It was fun though watching you guys play, because like during the intro when you're not singing, right? And then you went back to it. Like I saw Aldrine go.
You had to catch.
Okay. Right. That's what we're doing. Like that's okay. Right on. So thank you guys for sending in your awesome suggestions. I hope you guys like your songs. That is yours now.
Oh yeah, and it actually was a
tell us about the lyrics.
It was a song about like from the viewpoint of Santa. And because like I kind of wanted to write because it was like a blues song, and usually blues songs are sad.
Yes.
You know, kind of, and so this one was like kind of from his perspective about everything going right, you know. And so like you really don't have anything to complain about. So it's So the tagline is, I've got the seasonal, ain't got no reason to have the blues.
It's like, so he's sad about not being sad.
So like everything is perfect, everything is going right, but it's like the same thing every year for him.
It was a Pleasantville situation.
Even like when we first posted that we wanted suggestions, you know, and then the suggestions started coming in, like I was reading them. And I was like, oh, if I get that one, I'll probably record like a rock song, like an upbeat rock song with my guitar. And then I can't write lyrics, so I'm gonna just like add Christmas samples or something into it. So it was that's I think it's, even though we can get the same, you know, suggestions and stuff, it's always interesting to see what people are gonna do with it.
Right on. Hey, good job, everybody. That's not bad. That's like other people's parameters.
First time that.
We hope you guys who like sent in those suggestions, we hope you guys like the songs.
So if you guys want to take a crack at some of these songs, or some of the song suggestions that didn't get written, if you guys want to do that, head over to the UU Plus forums and post your song to the thread, right, Kahai?
And then should we say that when we come back in January, we'll pick a winner for of everybody who submitted a song.
So for everyone who submitted a song, we'll give them some prizes and stuff. Speaking of prizes, tomorrow. Let's talk about tomorrow. Now that we've done all that stuff, tomorrow is going to be Aloha Friday live concert, starting at a special starting time at 12:30 instead of the 1 o'clock Hawaii Standard Time. Is going to be 12:30, which is half an hour before. We just want to do more stuff. We just want to sing more songs, and we want to give more stuff away. I'll be bringing in a bunch of stuff that we'll give away, some snacks, some if I can find some more of those Ola Kaina CDs, I'll give some of those away. Some of my own CDs if I still have some back stock. And just some fun stuff. I'll give some stuff away.
And then I think some people might think that because it's a concert, we're not gonna play like any songs from the jam, but we might throw in some. We might. And then if we have it, we'll throw up the chords too, so you guys can follow along too.
So we'll just have fun. So for the most part, that extra 30 minutes is just so that we have 30 more minutes to like talk story and just just.
Maybe throw in 1 or 2 more songs.
So for the most part, we're just gonna have fun. Tune in tomorrow for all the fun. I can't wait. You're gonna wear a Santa hat on camera. Are you gonna gift them the gift of Kahai tomorrow and be the third person here? Have your computer here?
No, I can't do that.
Or maybe have a second camera on you. You're not giving the gift of Kahai this year. Maybe next year, guys. Lump of coal from Kahai, apparently.
I thought about wearing a Santa hat, but the thing is, the only Santa hat that I have is the one that we pulled the names out of for when we picked for the songwriting, and then that hat was just in a bucket in Walmart, so I don't really want to put it on my head,
Good Good call.
I don't know where that hat's been necessarily.
Good call. But yeah, it should be fun. I'm wearing my Tomorrow shirt today already. I should wear this red shirt tomorrow.
So
shout out to Carly G.
So Kevin kind of asked, like, is it only 30 minutes earlier, or is it like 30 minutes going to
it's an extra 30 minutes. Yeah, so it's going to be 12:30 to 2. So we always end at 2, but we usually start at 1, but it's going to be 12:30 to 2. So it should be an hour and a half of holly jolly Christmas fun. Are we going to do some Christmas songs tomorrow, Kahai?
I went into the archive and I grabbed all our Christmas songs, so we could do Christmas songs, but we'll see.
Kahai. Hiki no, Kahai. Hiki no.
Yeah.
Right on, guys. Hey, it's kind of early. We like never end this early. So you guys want to keep talking, or should we just end it right here?
Well, we can mention that. So we're not gonna be here next week for next week's Thursday.
Yeah.
Because it's the day after Christmas. So
yeah, and I'm not gonna be here, but I guess you guys could do a Aaron and Kahai show. What would the Aaron Kahai show look like? Because I know what the Aldrine and Kahai show looks like. What's the Aaron Kahai show?
We talked about it. It's just ska instead of emo. It's just ska.
It's the same show, but just with ska. It's an emo music or pop punk.
Yeah.
I guess Aaron could do pop punk as well.
Yeah.
He knows pop punk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard that Real Big Fish they were just on Oahu.
Really?
Yeah.
They're still jamming?
Missed the concert. Yeah.
Like recent, I saw that the Motion City soundtrack like was on Oahu, and I wanted to go see that. I'm like, dang, they're still doing stuff.
What was the one you were telling me about where it's Weezer, Green Day, and Fall Out Boy?
Oh yeah,
right?
that's like a super concert that's going on right now for all the '90s kids out there.
Like early 2000s.
Early 2000s. Yeah, they're
wow.
turning together.
Yeah.
Because Weezer did like Van Weezer, like the album, which is like a bunch of songs that sound like
to
Van
promote,
Halen. Yeah,
promote that.
It's pretty cool. And I heard that like Frozen 2 song from Weezer. So Weezer did a song for Frozen 2. And I'm like, I kind of want to do that song for a lesson, but I'm like, I would have to subject everyone else to like Frozen songs, you know? So I'm like, maybe not.
It's pretty awesome that Weezer can kind of like, it's just like, we've been a band for so many years. We're just gonna do whatever we want.
Well, I heard the original that was in the movie because the character Kristoff sings that song, but then the Weezer version doesn't sound like that at all. It sounds like a Weezer song.
Oh
so
yeah.
It's like I might still do it. I might still. I like it. I like Weezer.
Yeah.
You like Weezer, Kahai?
Yeah.
Name your favorite album right now.
Is it the Blue album?
Blue's good. Blue's the one with Buddy Holly.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I think because like that's
Blue would be mine too. That's got all the classics in there. Say It Ain't So.
Yeah, and it's like it sings to my teenage heart.
Because I always kind of know like how old the person is, like depending on which Weezer album they like. You know, because usually like kids your age like the Green album.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I am very much like generation too late.
Yeah. Born in the wrong decade.
That's usually how I judge it. It's like, oh, so how old are you? Okay, Green album then. Okay, well Hurley then. All right. Okay.
When I got into high school and I was a freshman, all my friends were seniors, and they were like, they were still like young and into like those kinds of things too. So I was like, oh, nice. I found people I can relate to. And of course, I had other friends too, but it's like, nice. I have found people I can relate to. And then they all graduated. And then nobody had any
3
idea.
years of no friends.
It was like, oh, you guys like ska? They're like, what's ska? It's like, oh, no, okay.
Trent likes ska. He says he likes ska.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Now that I'm working here, I feel like there's other people that I can.
I like ska, but I don't like ska as much as you guys like ska. I mean, you love ska.
I think I like punk ska, like third wave ska. Whereas Aaron is like kind of in the you kind of like some older like stuff, like some two-tone stuff too. Yeah,
it depends.
Yeah, so I think Aaron is like the OG, ska.
I like your version of Red Light. Aaron put out a CD when he was in high school and had this like a ska song called Red Light on it. My favorite version of that song. Should play that live.
Gotta learn it again.
Yeah. Okay. And then
to call you. I want to listen to it when I get home. The Aaron version.
So we should also mention we're not going to be here next week. Great, because it's the day after.
So 2 weeks. We're not going to be here for 2 weeks. I'm going to be gone. It's going to be the day after New Year's. So it's going to be the 2nd and 3rd. I'm not going to be here for the 2nd and 3rd. So there's no Thursday live or Aloha Friday live for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be in Arizona. That's also why there's no private lessons that you guys can book within the next couple weeks, and I apologize about that. But we have opened up January signups, so you guys can sign up really early to get those January dates.
You can sign up for like the 6th to the 31st.
Yeah,
so
all
those are
all the way down there. So so you guys can go ahead and go book that. Make sure to take advantage of your 2 private lesson credits for the for the month. And I'll see you then, guys. Have a great one. We'll see you tomorrow. Aloha.
I wasn't ready for the ending.